So, you're a founder. Your idea? It's everything, right? But let's be real. In the cutthroat world of tech, how do you actually protect it from getting copied or, flat out stolen? Well, today we're going to dive into a patent strategy guide that's built specifically for founders like you. Let's get right into it.
Wow, this quote, it just nails the pressure, doesn't it? We're not talking about just any city here. We're talking about an ecosystem where amazing ideas are literally everywhere, the competition is unbelievably fierce, and the clock is always ticking. Surviving here means you've got to play a totally different game from day one.
And yeah, this is the big one. This is the central question for any founder. In an environment like this, your idea isn't just a thought, it's your single most valuable asset. So protecting it isn't just some legal box you have to check. No, it's a strategic move that can literally define your company's entire future.
All right, so to even begin to figure out the right strategy, we first need to get a handle on the arena itself. The rules of this game are just different, and the environment totally dictates how you need to play.
And this right here, this is a really critical point. In a lot of other industries, you have time to course correct, but here, the IP decisions you make on day one can lock you into a path. Founders who get this early, they gain a massive advantage. But the folks who wait, man, they often find their options have just vanished, gone before they even knew they had them.
When you look at it this way, you can see it's kind of the perfect storm for founders. You've got nonstop innovation, which means someone else is probably working on your exact problem right now. Your biggest competition could literally be in the coffee shop next door. And the whole culture of pitching and sharing to get funding, well, that can accidentally put your core idea at massive risk. It's a total minefield.
Okay, so this kind of environment, it naturally leads to some super common and honestly really dangerous mistakes. Let's take a look at the pitfalls that trip up even the smartest founders out there.
Okay, this one. This is probably the single biggest trap I see founders fall into. You think, hey, I've been working on this for months, I had the idea first, so I'm protected. And that assumption, it's not just wrong, it can be absolutely fatal for your startup.
And here's exactly why that assumption is so dangerous. The legal system, it doesn't really care about your napkin sketch from a year ago. It cares about one thing and one thing only: who filed the application with the patent office first. This first-to-file rule completely changes the game and makes speed, well, everything.
All right, the next big trap is one we can all relate to: perfectionism. So many founders think, okay, I'll file for a patent once the product is totally finished, once it's all polished and every feature is locked in. But that's just a complete misunderstanding of what a patent is even for.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it. A patent is there to protect your core concept, the how behind your solution. It's not about the color of a button on your app or the final UI. If you wait for the product to be perfect, you're almost certainly waiting too long and you're missing that critical window to protect what truly matters.
And these mistakes can be super subtle. That blog post you wrote to attract some talent, that pitch deck you sent out to VCs, that demo you did at a tech meetup. In the eyes of patent law, any public disclosure can start a ticking clock that, if you're not careful, can permanently kill your ability to get a patent. And thinking that just doing nothing is the safe option? Well, that's often the single riskiest thing you can do.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, right, I get it, I need to act. So the logical next step is to call up a law firm. But here's the catch. The traditional model is often completely out of sync with the reality of a modern startup.
I mean, just think about it. These firms were built for a totally different era, with much slower moving clients and different incentives. Their whole way of doing things, long meetings, slow drafts, the late feedback, it's basically the enemy of a fast-moving startup that's trying to iterate every week, or sometimes even every day.
And this comparison, it just lays out the mismatch perfectly. The old way is bogged down by slow processes and confusing legal jargon that makes you afraid to even ask a question because you're watching that hourly bill tick up. The new way, though, is active. It uses simple language, it's totally transparent, and it creates a strategy that actually aligns with your business goals.
So if that old model is so broken, what's the alternative? What does a new solution actually look like? Well, it's a blueprint designed from the ground up for founders, for engineers, for builders.
Well, for starters, it speaks your language, the language of problems and solutions and systems, not dense legal sections. Then it really digs deep to uncover the true invention, that core insight that makes your solution so different. And crucially, it aligns the patent strategy with what you're actually trying to do with your business. Are you fundraising? Are you playing defense? Or are you getting ready for an exit? And finally, it builds protection that can actually evolve as your company grows and pivots. So the real outcome here isn't just getting some document filed away. It's all about transforming a process that usually feels super stressful and confusing and turning it into one that gives you, the founder, a real sense of clarity and control over your company's future.
And that leads us to what might be the most important mindset shift of this entire conversation. We have to stop thinking about patents as just some defensive legal document.
Here's the bottom line. Way too many founders get a patent, they check the box, and they just file it away. But doing that dramatically limits its value. A patent isn't just a piece of paper to stick in a drawer. It's one of the most powerful business tools in your entire arsenal, if you know how to use it.
I mean, just think about the advantages here. A strong patent answers those really tough investor questions during due diligence. It gives you real leverage in partnership talks. It's a tangible asset that can seriously boost your company's valuation. And maybe the most important thing of all, it gives you the confidence to just go out and build your vision without constantly having to look over your shoulder.
When you boil it all down, it really comes down to this. Strong protection isn't about locking things down. It's about creating freedom. The freedom to collaborate, the freedom to innovate even faster, and the freedom to build a lasting company from a real position of strength.
So, I want to leave you with this one question to really think about. When you consider your own intellectual property, is it just a reactive, forgotten document sitting in a folder somewhere? Or have you sharpened it into a strategic tool that's actively helping you build a stronger, better company? The choice and the opportunity that comes with it is all yours.